What happens if you spend at least 20 minutes outside every single day? In 2017, I set out to find out. Welcome to the Humans Outside Weekly Diary, where I tell you my own lessons from a life spent outside. What did I do and learn while going outside this week? That and this week's Real Outdoor Hero, up next. Have you ever thought about what your life might look like in some alternate reality or alternate line of events? For example, what if you didn't make that choice? What if, when the proverbial road diverged in a proverbial yellow wood, as Robert Frost wrote, you took the other path? What if, in those moments where there seemed to be no correct answer, just your best guess, you took one of the other options? That question was on my mind quite a lot this past week. Maybe it's all the running I've been doing as I prepare for my biggest event ever. Maybe it's all the running I didn't do and all the time catching up on This Is Up's episodes I did instead as I spent the last 3 days resting to get over this awful summer cold my kids brought home from summer camp. Or maybe it was the thinking that was prompted by the film crew here shooting my family as part of a documentary on veterans and their caregivers. Any of those alone will make you think. And the combination is a lot. Whatever the reason, as I crossed my 1,400th day in a row of spending 20 consecutive minutes outside every single day, I was thinking about what life would be like if I hadn't moved here to Alaska, or hadn't decided to stay with my husband when things were really hard back in 2014, the events which inspired us to make that move, or if I hadn't woken up from my days in the summer of 2017 and realized that nature was going to do nothing for me if I didn't make myself go outside regularly. What if I hadn't started my Humans Outside 365 project? What if I ignored the inspiration to start this podcast? What if I did none of these things? When I hit 1,300 days a few months ago, I talked in my diary episode about what spending all of that time outside has taught me. You can hear about that in Season 3, Episode 24. But on the 1,400th day, I was thinking about the gifts and opportunities given to me by this habit, the people I've met, the adventures I've had, and maybe most importantly, the way spending 1,400 days has taught me to stand on the edge of something large right here, right now. Do you ever have that feeling that life is like this moment where you're on the cusp of something amazing? I grew up on the beach, so you'll have to forgive the ocean metaphor here. But I spent a lot of time, and I mean a lot, watching waves come in and out and being in them as they rolled. And I see the patterns and pulse of life like those waves. Waves do this thing where they swell right before they break. They seem to always be moving except for this one tiny moment where they're at their peak and they pause just for a breath, or maybe they just seem to, before they come crashing down into the sound, that big crashing sound. It's this tiny breath where they stand on the edge of their grand entrance. If you are body surfing or boogie boarding, it's the exact moment where you want to be ready to catch the wave and ride it into the beach. Then, after the water reaches its farthest point in the sand, it moves back out again to make wave for the next wave, which does the exact same thing. So often I feel like life just works like that. It builds to something grand, rides itself in, and then takes a breath as it goes back out again to make wave for the next wave, the next big thing. And in that moment, right before the wave breaks, is this feeling like you are standing on the edge of something large and exciting. I mentioned that we are part of a film project. Originally, we were shooting for a film specifically about veterans, but then our story was rolled into a second, different film focused on something broader. It looks at my husband Luke as he's dealing with traumatic brain injury and other injuries from his military service, me as I help and walk alongside him, our kids, and 2 other families doing similar things. The crew is here filming, and we drove them up to Hatcher Pass, a place that we love with these incredible mountain views. They used a drone to shoot us from above and asked us to stand still looking out on this really gorgeous view as a shot for the film. Throughout the whole shooting journey, which started in early 2019, we've talked about how important getting outside has been to us. As we stood there this last week, cuddling for warmth in the breeze, gazing out at the view and trying to ignore the drone, I felt that same old edge of something large feeling. In the past, I've felt that because I'm about to start a big project, or I'm tackling a big goal, or I'm launching a thing, or making a big move. I felt like that when we moved here to Alaska, and when I headed out to a presidential fellowship I did in 2019 with the George W. Bush Institute, for example. But here now, I think I'm feeling it around my 1,400th day outside, because I know all of the gifts the outdoors has already given me, and the something large is whatever nature has in store for me tomorrow, or the next day, or the day after that. It's an openness and willingness to take each day as it comes, big or small, and experience it one step at a time. It's receiving as gifts the good and the otherwise negative, unexpected, like 3 days off from running to get over this stupid cold. And it's looking to each moment and change of season as small pieces of a large, beautiful puzzle. If I had taken a different path, had not said okay to this outdoor-focused life, would I have this perspective? Would I have found these gifts? Would I be who I am today? I obviously don't know the answer to that. Life has a way of working itself out, and I'm grateful for every bump along the way to get me where I am today. I am grateful for this journey. I hope your days outside give you this perspective and many wonderful others. As always, you can find my photos of my daily time, yep, even with my nasty cold, on Humans Outside on Facebook and Instagram. And until next time, we'll see you out there.